The Phoenix's embrace. David Thompson was a man of action, not just words. A towering figure in the bustling metropolis of Ethelberg, Texas, he had built a legacy not only on professional success but on unshakable character. A wildly prosperous entrepreneur and a dedicated philanthropist, David had always been a deeply involved member of his community, contributing not only financially but also actively participating in various social programs. Yet, beneath this veneer of success, a heavy burden weighed on his heart. The tragic loss of his beloved wife, Eleanor, and their young daughter, Amelia, in a car accident 2 years prior had left a chasm in his life that nothing seemed to fill. He went through the motions, a hollow shell of the man he once was, continuing his charitable work and remaining involved in the community, but the emptiness remained a constant, gnawing presence. A pivotal turn came on what began as an ordinary Tuesday. David learned about 6 young girls, sisters, ranging in age from 5 to 12, who were in desperate need of a home. For a long time, these girls had been caught in the foster care system, passed from one temporary family to another, and were now on the brink of being separated. No one wanted to adopt them as a group due to the physical and psychological issues they faced, a cruel consequence of their past. Their plight resonated deeply with David. He understood their feelings of loss and loneliness. He knew that deep down, he had the capacity to change their lives for the better. David's decision to adopt all 6 girls was not made lightly. He understood the immense responsibility he was undertaking and the challenges that lay ahead. These children had endured trauma and abandonment, and they carried the scars of their past with them. He knew that providing a home for them would require more than just meeting their physical needs. He would have to offer emotional support, ensure they received appropriate therapy and education, and, most importantly, create a stable, loving environment where they could heal and flourish. The journey with the girls was far from easy. As expected, there were many challenges along the way. The girls were initially hesitant and distrustful, having been let down by adults in their young lives. It took time, patience, and a lot of love for them to begin to open up and trust David. Despite the struggles, David remained steadfast in his commitment. He provided the girls with everything they needed, supported them through their therapy sessions, and, most importantly, gave them a stable, loving home where they felt safe and cared for. For David, the adoption of the 6 girls was a turning point. It filled the void he had felt since the death of his wife and daughter and gave him a renewed sense of purpose. While it was a difficult journey, David found immense reward in creating a loving family for 6 children who desperately needed one, and in doing so, he found his own healing and a sense of fulfillment. This experience taught him that love knows no bounds and that families can be created in the most unexpected ways. The Thompson sisters Emily, Grace, Sarah, Lily, Emma, and Ava, each with their own unique personality and past burdens, were brought into David's new home on Elm Street in Ethelberg. The eldest, Emily, felt a heavy sense of responsibility for her younger sisters and was wary of new people. Grace, a gentle and sweet soul, struggled with anxiety and had a hard time opening up. Sarah was full of confidence and curiosity but had been diagnosed with ADHD and required extra help with her studies. Lily, the artist of the family, battled with self-esteem issues. Emma, the second youngest, was shy and reserved, while Ava, the youngest, was outgoing but wrestled with the emotional scars of her past. David took proactive steps to ensure their well-being. He enrolled them in Riverside Elementary, a local school known for its supportive environment, hired a tutor to help with their studies, and made sure they attended therapy sessions to help them heal from their past trauma. He understood that healing was a journey and that it was important to address the emotional wounds the girls carried. Initially, the girls were skeptical. They did not trust him, having been let down by adults before. But David's patience and kindness slowly won them over. He treated them with respect, showed understanding, and provided a stable, loving home where they felt secure and valued. Over time, the girls began to open up to him and to see him as their father. Emily, the eldest, was the first to start trusting David, seeing how much he cared for them and how hard he worked to provide for their needs. Grace found comfort in David's gentle and calming demeanor. Sarah flourished with the extra support and began excelling in her studies. Lily was inspired by David's belief in her and started to have more confidence in her artistic abilities. Emma, warmed by David's kindness, became more outgoing and made new friends, and Ava, with the help of therapy, began to heal from the emotional scars of her past. The girls were healing and thriving in their new environment. They started to see David as more than just a caretaker. He was the father they had always needed. David, in turn, loved the girls as if they were his own. Together, they forged a new family, bound by love, respect, and a shared commitment to supporting each other on their journey of healing and growth. A growing family as time went on, the girls continued to grow and thrive under David's loving care and support. Emily, who was once so distrustful and guarded, became a confident young woman, excelling in her studies and serving as a role model for her younger sisters. Grace, who had once struggled with anxiety, learned to manage her feelings and became an active participant in her school's drama club. Sarah, who once struggled with her ADHD, learned to focus and excelled in her favorite subject, science. Lily, who once battled with low self-esteem, started to believe in her talent, and even won a local art competition. Emma, once shy and reserved, became more outgoing and made new friends at school, and Ava, whose emotional wounds had begun to heal, found comfort in playing the piano. David was incredibly proud of his daughters and supported them in every way he could. He attended their school events, encouraged them to pursue their interests, and celebrated their achievements. He also continued to provide a stable and loving home, an environment that was crucial for their continued healing and development. The girls, in turn, were grateful for everything David had done for them. They saw him as their hero and admired his strength, kindness, and dedication to their well-being. The girls also formed bonds with other children in the community. Emily made friends with a group of girls who shared her interest in literature. Grace found a supportive group in the drama club. Sarah joined a science club at school and found friends who shared her curiosity. Lily was introduced to a community of young artists who inspired and supported her. Emma made friends with kids in her class, and Ava joined a music group where she met other young musicians. As the girls healed from their past wounds, they grew closer to David. They began to see him not just as a guardian, but as a father who genuinely cared for and supported them in every way. David, in turn, loved the girls as if they were his own children. They were a family, bound by love, respect, and a shared commitment to supporting each other. A shocking truth: one day, David received a letter that would change their lives forever. It was from a woman who claimed to be the girls' biological mother. In the letter, she explained that she had been forced to give them up for adoption due to an abusive husband, and that she had been searching for them ever since. She expressed deep regret and sorrow for not being able to protect them and wanted to reconnect with them. David was shocked by the revelation and was torn between telling the girls the truth and keeping it from them to protect them. He knew that the revelation could be upsetting to the girls and disrupt the normalcy they had worked so hard to build. However, he also knew that the girls had a right to know about their biological mother and that keeping the information from them could lead to resentment in the future. He ultimately decided to tell them the truth. He sat them down and explained the situation, assuring them that he loved them and would always be there for them no matter what. The girls were initially shocked and confused by the revelation. They had mixed feelings about their biological mother and were unsure how to proceed. Emily felt a sense of betrayal and anger toward her biological mother for not being there for them when they needed her. Grace was confused and unsure what to feel. Sarah was curious about her biological mother and wanted to know more about her. Lily felt empathy for her biological mother and a desire to reconnect with her. Emma was hesitant and unsure, and Ava, the youngest, was excited about the possibility of reconnecting with her biological mother but also felt a sense of loyalty to David. Despite the initial shock and confusion, the girls eventually came to terms with the revelation. They understood that their biological mother was also a victim of abuse, and that she had done what she thought was best for them at the time. They were grateful for everything David had done for them, and knew that he would always be an important part of their lives. They decided to maintain a relationship with both their biological mother and David. The reunion with their biological mother was emotional and healing for everyone. The girls were able to express their feelings and ask their questions, and their biological mother was able to apologize and explain her actions. Together, they began to rebuild their relationship and heal from the past. They all lived happily ever after. The girls forged a close relationship with David and their biological mother, and they all became a part of each other's lives. David was proud of the strong, resilient young women the girls had become, and was grateful to have been a part of their journey. The girls were grateful to David for his love and support, and they were grateful to have been reunited with their biological mother. Together, they had created a unique and loving family, bound by forgiveness and a shared commitment to supporting each other.